Hi guys, how you doing?
Hey, hey,
Good,
Oh,
good. How are you?
yeah, good, thank you. Nice video, Ross, by the way.
thank you.
That I got on my, I don't know which, like from an agency email, I think. It was like how to change the world with AI bots.
Basically, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's had some good views, I think, hasn't it?
it's doing good. Yeah, it's so far it's I've been tracking it. Uh, for my channel, this is doing pretty good. So it seems like it's doing pretty good. But yeah, my goal is to make more. I really enjoyed making that video too, like in that style. So I want to make more that are like that, basically, for different topics and things. Yeah. I also saw the item that you added to the roadmap. We were laughing internally because I saw the tweet that OpenAI posted about read the response back to me. And I
Yeah, yeah,
took a screenshot of that tweet. I posted it to our Slack. I'm like, this is how we introduce voice in like a way that makes sense and because it's mimicking how OpenAI is doing it. And then within an hour, I think you sent in that item. And I was like, this is perfect. Like we are all looking at the same stuff and monitoring
yeah.
the same things, and we're all kind of thinking of the same things and the same ideas. Um,
But it's so cool because it sorts out that accessibility. And I described it to a customer today, and I said, look, there's this new option now where you can basically have the AI speak back to you in terms of whatever the content is. And actually, it could do that in any language. So imagine if you were, if your first language was Urdu and unfortunately you were blind and you relied on that kind of accessibility tool to engage with a local council. Oh
yeah,
my God.
yeah, yeah.
So if we can bake that into this platform, it would be fabulous.
Exactly. Yeah. I think that's a lot of the other functionality that we're seeing in terms of like vision and being able to take in images and understand what's in images and shortly that'll probably happen with video. I think the key thing is like we're going to continue to focus on this idea of leveraging conversational AI as that core piece of it and not like it's that piece is just going to get better and better over time. Like, yeah, it's exciting. Cool. We got some good updates for everyone. Tim will pop open his screen in a sec.
Yeah, let me go ahead and share it. Okay. So the biggest thing we've been working on, to be honest, is increasing the dev team size, right? And that's why you may have seen over the past few weeks, things have slowed down just a tiny bit while we were working to do that. But that is going successfully. We actually had a new person just start today, and that is going well. He's actually already tackling issues. So that is fantastic. Now, in the meantime, streaming is our primary focus right now. We have encountered some minor issues with that as far as developing it, but those should be worked out and it is going well overall. Now, keep in mind, streaming, what does that mean? That means that the chatbot's response will actually, the moment it's generated from OpenAI, will be relayed into the user's chat window, so into their browser, which will increase the perception massively of how long it takes to get these responses. And then finally, we've gotten some recent issues out that you all were kind of requesting of us. The biggest one in many ways is what's his name was talking about last meeting, and is a very good point that the form that we submit, it needs some kind of feedback that it was submitted. So that is out. That should be working now. We also had a marketplace bug that we discovered that wouldn't allow you to delete your private marketplace bots. That was fixed. Those should be deletable now. And I believe I talked with the customer over a ticket this morning that he was able to successfully delete them. Also, the formatting of the hyperlinks, which was a big discussion in the Discord, that should be fixed now. They should now be rendered properly. That markdown that you were seeing that was looking, just like markdown instead of an actual link. So please test that. Let us know if there's any issues that crop up for that. And then finally, another strange issue we had was where when a user signed up through a link of yours, the custom links that we allow you to create for your packages, if that customer had already had a Stammer account, which was an interesting edge case, but it was encountered enough times through a customer who had been promoting our affiliate program. If that happened, it would cause a weird error and the customer would actually be created as a Stammer customer. We've added better error handling for that now that will indicate to the customer that they need to contact you. And then also we will be sending an email to ourselves with all those details so we can reach out to you guys and kind of get that situation resolved. Really shouldn't happen too much, but it is a strange edge case that occasionally occurs, especially if you are promoting or were promoting our affiliate program, which we did send out half of those payouts for the affiliate program today. These are kind of the current leaders. Emails about this will be going out more often, but if you're not on the affiliate program, please feel free to join that and help us promote it. But that is the main updates that we have right now. And like I said, as the new dev team members kind of get adjusted and start actually, getting code out and helping us debug issues, we should see a lot more things get tackled in the coming weeks and months. Anything you want to add there, Ross, that I'm forgetting?
Just to add on to that, the big titles here, it says like how help your customers. That's our main like theme and focus of all the next updates. So it's how, how we can help you guys make that process happen easier and faster. So some of the things that are going to be coming down the pipeline that we're working on right now, user permissions for your sub accounts. So you guys can control where and when people are seeing what across their sub accounts. Customizable login page, so you can put in your own branding on that. More stuff to be able to customize the dashboard in addition to all the other stuff that we're adding. So
yeah, and we are literally working on that now.
a lot of good stuff coming down the pipeline.
Okay, cool. Any questions on this before I stop sharing? Okay, cool. Let me stop sharing, and then Ross, I will turn it over to you.
Awesome. Cool. Yeah. So main thing on my end is the strategy, the Thursday session that we had. I have that uploaded to Loom, and I'm going to be posting that to the resources channel in Discord later today. You guys can review that. Mainly, I basically took most of what was successful in that call and then posted that in one of my latest YouTube videos as well. I'm going to post that in the channel later today as well. Lots of good information in there about running successful AI agency and all that. All that being said, let's just kind of open it up to questions. Anybody have anything they want to bring up? Any good sales conversations? Anything spectacular?
Ross, I've got a question. If we give someone a bot, is there a way in which we can kind of make that shareable rather than them giving a link? So if, say, a customer has a bot and then we want that to then somebody say, well, I want to send my friend that bot information. Is there a way, like Facebook has like a share button, for want of a better word. Is there a way that the bot could be made to be shareable? Because that would then make it viral.
Different than the current share link?
Yeah, because that's effectively, you have to give them a link, don't you? You can't do it straight from you can't like press a button on the bot to share it. So if I want to send it to my friend, I can't do that, can I? At the moment, I'd have to give them a link. If I'm a customer, not a client, let's distinguish the difference between a client and a customer. A client is the one who owns the bot, yeah? And a customer is the person using the bot. So if the user is using the bot and says, wow, this is really cool, I want all my friends to see it, there's no way that they can share that, is there?
They could just copy the link in the URL, but
if you could share it manually, it would go viral.
What are you thinking of
an analog?
Yeah, so like, because what we're getting confused on is we have that existing share link, and that's the link that you would send to someone that brings them to that bot.
Yeah. Is there a way to actually trigger that kind of like, so it does it automatically through an email or something?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Like a link below that says share this on Twitter or whatever.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Not a bad idea, honestly. Yeah.
Because then you would create a viral bot as opposed to just bot on the bot. Because there is an element of that it is still cool and probably will be for a long while. So people will share the bot because it's a bot. If you go to, let's pick a spa, and somebody sees the bot and goes, well, that's really cool, I'm going to send it to all my mates. You've just created 8 new customers for the client. That's not a hard sell. That's a very easy sell.
And would the user be using it on the spa's website or
No, they probably have to have a standalone version, but we could use it as a selling point that there's a standalone version. So therefore you can sell them 2 bots. All right. So this is the one that when you come to the mobile phone, because it doesn't need to be on a website, it can stand alone on its own. They could always go to the website after, like it would if you did a lead funnel. You don't necessarily want them to go to the homepage of a website. You want them to go get their information and then send them to the homepage of a website. I just feel that you could create something. Because I mean, if you share something, you can send it to like 50 people.
You could theoretically have the bot give you another link to a landing page with basically the same bot on a blank page.
Yeah.
And that could be shareable, and it would kind of be the same. You just
that'd
put it in
that'd be one way of doing it.
In the base prompt to, if somebody asks for, like, hey, I want to share this with my friends, they just give a link of another website, blank one with just the bot, and that would be.
So what if from a user's point of view, at the bottom it says powered by, and it's by, powered by agency AI.
And that's selling. Yeah. And that can be sent somewhere.
Exactly. And if you click that, it could bring you to a share link of that bot where they could click and then create an account underneath agency AI. I see. I see. Yep. So it's basically just another level of the existing share link with clone, like the clone share links, basically. I see.
Making it that much easier because most people don't think, well, I'll copy a link, send the link, etc.
Got you. Okay. That's an interesting idea.
Yeah. I don't know how practical it is, but it would make a huge difference to an agency selling something if they can say, well, look, you'll get 1 customer with the bot, but you might get 8 shares with the bot, which is now 8 new customers that you never even thought you were going to have before.
Mm-hmm.
Just double their turnover. Well, we have 8 times their turnover effectively.
Yeah.
From the same thing.
This is good. We'll add this to the roadmap because we're drastically increasing our throughput, so we'll be able to tackle kind of these.
I don't know how practical it is to do it. I don't get obviously the mechanics of the thing, but
well, it's a set. We already have the functionality. It's just putting it somewhere else.
Putting it so it works easier to get out. Yeah.
Essentially, yeah. So I think it's not really us creating new functionality. It's just putting the same functionality in another place.
Yeah.
It's like when you get things and you on your iPhone, you can send it to your WhatsApp friends or whatever, can't you?
Yeah, and relatedly, so if you come across an example of a product doing that you really like, feel free to shoot it over to us, an image of that. Yeah.
Quick thing that brought up, we're working on, so we have our internal documentation. We're now working on our own internal prompt engineering guide and materials as well. So it's going to be a supplemental. That's, it's not really about like how the platform is built or how you use it, but it's more about how to create, specific basis, how to get things to do, how to get the thing to act in a certain way, all those types of scenarios and use cases. So we're working on a huge like video library and text-based tutorials for all that, which will be in a Git book, and that will be an additional resource to start, and then eventually we'll make it into the application too. Tim, do you want to share how your luncheon went?
Yeah, good. So prior to the get together, I actually went to a masterclass webinar workshop with an ESP, an email service provider who's based here in the UK called Force24. So I did exactly what I said I was going to do. I created a bot for their product and services. Shared that with their chief exec at the event, and that has now resulted in various conversations about how we potentially could have a solution that is going to be embedded into their coming marketplace, where they're adding solutions to add value within their platform for their clients as well. So again, it's the same old thing, showing a customized, not just a bot, but a customized bot with their logo, their color scheme and the header, the correct amount of information in there from the website data, or maybe a sales brochure, as much stuff as you can get in there to make it respond in a good way. And then what I've found is that if I use an icebreaker question at the beginning, then that to click that gets that conversation. So it's like, you know, you don't even need to type here. We can just start tapping away. And to go back to the voice thing as well, if they're looking at that, as Graham was saying, if they're looking at that on a mobile, then they could even use voice to text to ask the question in the bot demo as well. So powerful stuff, really.
Are you pretty much always on mobile when you're doing these demos?
No, and I've had another meeting with a guy today, and he wants to present it at his board meeting next week to the rest of his team, and that'll be, you know, just creating a customized bot for them that they'll probably use within the you know, the screen share within the meeting itself.
Nice.
So the bot's good. Sorry, the mobile is good because that's all you see, you know. And I found that on iOS sometimes the sizing goes a little bit screwy when you're doing the when it's answering questions. So you've got to sort of temper the amount of response that you ask it to give in the base prompt. So it just isn't just an endless stream of a response. It's quite short and succinct, and then that encourages them to ask more questions. So I'd suggest that as something that you put into the base system prompt.
Got it. That's a good tip. That's the type of stuff that we'll put into the prompt engineering guide. It's like, how, why are my responses so long? Well, add this specific line in, or try adding this, and then that should help. Are you using any sort of template yourself, or do you just kind of wing it for each client?
No, so I'll go and grab, usually you can go and grab the logo from either LinkedIn or one of the social channels. Twitter's quite good because it's that logo is already pre-sized, and that works very well in the header of the bot. And then do it with the color picker. You just have to look at their website and their brand and see if they use one color, then you make it one band color at the top, match the logo. And if it's two colors, then you blend that and give them that vignette in that top section. Always, I found also put a little border around the demo bot as well, so maybe 3 pixels wide. It just lets it stand off the page a little bit. And then in the powered by, always put your brand in the powered by bit at the bottom, and make sure that you change the color of that so it's a little bit darker, so it's always being seen when they're asking their questions as well.
There we
The
go.
other thing I found as well was the fixing of putting the image behind the bot as well. That's quite a cool one. And I've seen other people sort of start to do that as well now. So you do need to play with the background of the image a little bit so that you darken it out where the text goes. So it's not always perfect in every screen resolution.
That was a funny thing that we all internally were kind of laughing about, how we were like, oh yeah, no one ever used that until you kind of put your screenshot, and then you kind of opened up the ideas of what's possible with that feature. Like, oh yeah, you could actually get, it doesn't have to be just like squiggly lines as a background. It could actually be an image.
Yeah, or better still, on some of the demos I've done, I've actually found a way that the client might use their own branding as like a secondary branding, and use that behind the chat window.
Oh, that's smart. Like their own background image or whatever.
It's there, so it's fully branded in the top. The background's branded, and it's all the information is all about their business, and then they own it. It's theirs.
That's
and that visual association is so very much more powerful than trying to talk to them about what it does and this, that, and the other, because they've already seen that system can work with their branding and styling. And it's a really good sort of strong indicator. I've not had anybody say, don't use my brand, put it that way.
Do you think that's one of the most important pieces to have a really good first impression, is making it visually in their brand?
Yeah, definitely. You agree, Graham? Yeah.
The question I've got, similar subject to Tim was talking about, is, if you put an image behind on the actual chatbot, how is there a way in which the bit where they actually input the information could stay not with the image in it? I think that's what Tim was kind of saying, is you need to highlight that bit, or else you just can't see what's being put there. Because I created some very attractive images, kind of like I did a beauty spa, and I did BT created the image for me. But the problem I had is you can't actually see the writing when people are typing it in. You can see the message once it's been written, because you can color code the actual chat, but you can't, the bit at the bottom, kind of, if you've got to get the right color.
What we could do is we can add a like an opacity slider, so that way it will like by default, it will be all black or all white, and then you can slide it to make it slightly gray or slightly light white or slightly
Yeah,
black.
because then you wouldn't lose. Yeah, you wouldn't lose the text then.
Tim, I'm thinking we add a slider where like on the left end it's black, in the very middle it's completely transparent, and on the right it's completely white.
Got it.
You could slide it to be like fully black or kind of black or fully white, kind of white.
Yeah,
Or
because
fully transparent.
with the design. I mean, Tim should get the credit for that since he showed everybody you could actually do it.
Yeah.
But I mean, they look really attractive because I kind of like did one for a vet and it got a dog and a vet behind it and things like that, which was only for the demo because they obviously would have their own branding. But it just, they go, oh, it's for a vet. They don't think it's just a chatbot. They think it's made for a vet, for example.
And that's exactly the same styling and implementation we're going to do for customizable login page.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a 70% load where you can load a custom image, and then the other 30% will be the form, and there will be like 2 or 3 preset stylings on the form. So it'll be like, you know, the light version, the dark version, or maybe like a neutral version. And then that way, visually, when you go to that login, when everyone's login and sign up page can look different because that main 70% image can be whatever you want. Yeah. And then for the dashboard customizations, we're going to start simple, just like with what we've done everything else. We'll probably do something similar to the effect of like, you know, main color 1, sub color 1, and then that will, you know, when you change that one, it will go from blue to whatever color you want, and then that affects all the button colors and all the other things. So that way we maintain consistency throughout the entire platform, but you can still control the colors of those different things throughout the platform, because it could get out of hand real quick.
Could be a bit wild, yeah.
That's good.
Another thing is I spoke to the guys who are developing Mintbird and Global Control. You'll find out about it in the near future. And if they contact you, they want to be able to integrate their system with yours. They're literally creating a product where they have a global control system that will integrate with virtually everything. So you'll want to be on it. So I've asked them to do that. So if they get in contact, that's what it's about.
Nice, cool, sounds good. One of the things that we're kind of seeing from some others is and I mean, ChatGPT was the first one to do this with GPTs and creating your own functions. And I don't, you know, we're not going to go too much in depth on this right now, but that's kind of, you know, we're basically just, how is OpenAI building stuff and doing things? And this is a really good topic that we were talking about earlier internally, where the conversation between all the builder platforms and how you have to do this thing that's connected to this thing, connected to this thing, versus conversational AI and prompting. OpenAI is not building a builder. They're building prompting and conversational AI, and we believe that that's the future. And right now is, quote unquote, the worst the AI models will ever be. Theoretically, tomorrow they get better, and the next day and the next day. So like, as we're building collectively towards the future here, you know, do we think it's ever going to go back to more of a stat? I don't think so. And I think taking that idea and concept into the context of how they added voice, how they've implemented vision and these other things, like, that's how the general market is using all this stuff, and as consumers, and as we start to implement that stuff for businesses, like that's how they're going to compare everything against. So that being said, I just want to, like, the things that OpenAI is doing, like, we're working on implementing all of those things into the platforms. That way we can, you know, have as much feature parity as possible to what everybody's comparing everything against, which is ChatGPT and OpenAI.
Ross, I missed the first couple of 3 minutes, and I got the gist. It was about voice, but can we put an image? So say, for example, we've got a realtor and they want to show a property. Can we put an image, or can we only put a link at this point in time?
Tim, correct me if I'm wrong. Can you comment on that?
No, we can't. You can't yet put an image.
Yeah,
but it's imminent, I would have thought, isn't it? If they're going to do voice, they're sure as hell going to do images, aren't they?
Yeah, and this is something that we just fixed with the links.
Yeah.
So we can add, I mean, and that's something that's been on our roadmap too. So we could have it to where it can render images in the chat window on the web page.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah. The way that we do that remains to be seen, because we'll have to do something with, it has to have some sort of HTML or, IMG SRC link of image.
It has to be something to get it.
Has to be
doesn't it?
something, or, we build some sort of infrastructure to allow to upload images, but then
So in principle, could it, if it pulled, I'm not saying it can do it now, but in principle, if it pulled the information from the web scrape, it could in theory pull the images from that web scrape. Yeah.
yeah. In
Right.
theory,
Yeah,
yes.
but I don't know how valuable that because ultimately what you're describing is that we would have like a database, right, of, in your case, houses or something, but you need perfect data. And that's why we're building the functionality for the bot to be able to interface with the database and pull up things like product information, information
Gotcha.
about the product
Yeah.
sizes,
Yeah.
images of the product. I think that is where that would best play.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because as you say, just because of what you see on a website doesn't necessarily mean it's the data is put in the right way. So it can't, the difference can.
Right
Yeah.
now, I think that's the thing that we all have to keep in mind. Like OpenAI in 6 months from now is probably going to be a different beast, in terms of capabilities than what it is today, in terms of longer context window, better understanding of, that the whole needle in the haystack example that was going viral on Twitter for Claude 3 this morning. It's not like the progress is not slowing down. So like the way I see this stuff going is, at some point in the future, eventually, we will be able to scrape literally all the context from a website and then be able to do literally anything and have it be that magic expectation that we all kind of hope and want for the future. It's just not quite yet.
No, I mean, it's understandable. These things are not happening overnight, but they're happening.
But close, pretty close. Yeah.
I had a use case example today with, again, another client, an engineering client. And they do so we have a bot that works on their front facing website. We're developing a technical bot in the background, and the technical engineer said we want to be able to analyze faults. So we now have a fault sheet, and we can educate the bot on that, build that into the knowledge base. And he says, to Graham's point, he said, can the user upload an image? Because we want to see if there's impact damage from a truck hitting something in a warehouse. We want to be able to see that in our chat flow so that we can then pass that off, hand that off to an agent, and they're fully aware of what's happening. So I said, not right now, because we don't have that capability, but you could just imagine that you could then analyze the image. If you could train the bot on the image content to say, well, actually, this is item number or product number 1234. Yes, we can come with a spare part for that particular product image, and the end user wouldn't need to know that information. They would just take that data from the visual representation of the image.
Yeah, that's a good idea. It's not a matter of if, it's just a when question. So these are all things that we for sure, and as we have now added 2 more engineers to our team, one today, I mean, we're gonna double our output over the next month, basically. So my expectation is we're going to get to these, like, we're going to talk about these things now. And in the past, where it might have taken us a couple weeks to get to it, we're going to get to it a lot faster, and then be able to give you guys that first MVP variation or version of it. And then we can iterate on it together based on your use cases, and then see how everyone's using it. And just, just like how we've done everything in the past. The big thing that we've realized is there's no more grander functionality that we need to build within the platform. It's all enhancements within existing functionality. So like the things and examples that we're talking about right now, it's all within the existing infrastructure. We don't need to necessarily build something new, so to speak.
Yeah, that's the big positive with Stammer over GHL, for example. We've got 90,000 different things that it does, but 98% of them nobody even knows how to use them, let alone what they are. And you've stuck in the lane, so you've only developed what you've already made and made it more enhanced, as opposed to let's shove that feature in and this feature in and this feature, and before you know it, you've got a flipping pyramid of stuff that you have no idea what it does.
Yeah, we could have made a killing if we implemented email and all this other crap, and but like we know exactly what we want to build, and how we're going to build it, and how you guys are using it, more importantly. Like, we're almost a year. I mean, in June, we'll be a year old of talking with customers, basically. So that's kind of exciting. So anyway, any last questions before we wrap up today?
Was there a replay on the Thursday thing? Because I couldn't get there because I was doing an event at the same time.
Yes, I have it uploaded to Loom. I'll be posting that to the resources channel later today.
Okay, cool.
I had one quick question about copyright.
Mhm.
So some clients have asked about when they upload their data into the knowledge base, what happens to the copyright of that information? Where is their information going and where does it sit? I've explained that it's different to OpenAI because with OpenAI, if you're asking a question and you're generating content from a query, then that's pulling content from multiple sources that you have no control over. And the difference with our platform is that it's a narrow AI in the sense that it's only being trained on the data for that particular business, let's say. But there's still the queries as to where that information resides, where does it go into, and what happens to it once it's sat there. And then even if they delete it, like they update a price, for example, or they update a spec sheet, is the old data still in the memory somewhere, or is it in OpenAI, or is it now being taken out because you've removed it from that narrow AI knowledge base?
Well, I think we'll get an item added to our Git book that has like a really good, short, succinct answer for this. The general kind of, layman's terms is it's a fully encrypted database that the data is only accessible to the quote unquote public internet when it's being sent to and from OpenAI. Otherwise, all the information is completely locked down and encrypted within our database.
So stuff that's kind of uploaded from the client never gets to OpenAI because it never needs to go there, does it?
Correct. It's the only stuff that is coming from the semantic search. So when that query gets messaged against the knowledge base, the answers that the search finds, that's the information that gets sent to OpenAI. So it's always contextual. It's never the full stack of info. Because we're using the API, OpenAI, and this is their terms and service and their policy, says that data is not used to train their models because it's being run through their business API. Do I believe that? No, but that's what they say. So I would say that to your customers.
Yeah, as long as you've got sort of disclaimer stroke evidence through it.
Yeah, again, that's what they say. That's what we say. I don't believe it, but
yeah,
that's what they say. So
believing something and what's actually documented are very different things, aren't they, in reality?
Yeah, well, go ahead, Tim.
I was just going to say it is very different from the way people are starting to use GPTs now, because they're using GPTs with their business information, and that information is going to the open network, and those GPTs are hackable, and information is fed into the knowledge base, if you like, the big open AI knowledge base, and then anybody can access that if they know which questions to ask and the right way to ask.
That's part of the thing that they're not going to tell you because they don't want to discourage the use of GPTs. But that was also the issue, wasn't it?
The Dan jailbreak.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have a question today, but I love what you guys are doing here. Ross, Timothy, I love the simplicity of it. I like the simple side of it, right? Like my dream is just super, super simple. 5 questions, get their email, or 5 questions, sent to a link.
Easy.
And I just love that you're keeping that part and not complicating it. We can just run that part. We can sell that part. And I really love what you're doing with that. And of course, thank you for all the billing work that you did with me, because we enrolled a whole lot of people the last couple of weeks. And in doing that, we figured some stuff out. And it's just really, really easy to send somebody a link and they sign up and they get started. So thanks for making it easy, Ross. Really appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you for that feedback, Sean. Appreciate it. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, Sean is one of our top. Actually, I think you're on the affiliate thing this month, but he was sending us the customers and it was causing issues. So Sean, let us know, by the way, if you encounter, if any of those customers aren't associated properly with your agency account, just let us know and we'll get it fixed.
And for anybody else, likewise, just let us know if you ever have any issues. We'll get it fixed for you.
Cool. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, cool. I'll have all the links and stuff uploaded to Discord later today, but Yeah, great to hear you guys are having success with this. This is exciting.
Mm,
Yes,
excellent.
it is.
Yeah. And lots more updates coming down the pipeline for you. So we'll keep everyone updated and talk to you guys next week.
Talk to you next week.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
See ya.
Thank you guys. Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye bye.
Bye.